Hi everybody. So in a few minutes my client is gonna come in. So I'm just gonna start with preparing the dual forms. So I've got this tray with dual forms and all of my clients are listed in here with their sizes. That way I can just grab what I need and don't have to do all that work, when they come in. Plus, I get the chance to prepare the dual forms, which saves me, just a little bit of time, like about 5 minutes, but still, it's 5 minutes, right? And I like that I can just grab them and just start, and place them on top of the nail, and I don't have to fill the forms or uh, whatever. I could just keep on going. I love just if my work flows. So this is my acrylic gel cover pink. I'm just gonna squeeze a small amount in there, and I basically know with each client how much I need. So it all depends on which client is coming in, how much I use. And once I've got all the beads in the dual forms, then I will spread it in the dual form using a little bit of alcohol, because I don't like to keep the bead near the cuticle area and just press it and just hope that it will spread the way I like. I really do not like that at all. I don't like working that way with builder gel. I will place the gel inside the dual form at the length that I want and with approximately the right thickness. And here you go, and I've made this little thingy myself, so that way my dual forms won't go all over the place. So I've created these labubus by hand, and now it's time to nip them off the nail, and they were coming off pretty good. So I was really happy about that, because sometimes it's a struggle getting nail charms off, like for real, like oh yeah, it's fun putting them on. Taking them off is a lot of work sometimes. But these came off pretty good, so I was really happy about that. And you always have to be a little bit careful with cutting off those nail charms, because if you try to get under there and twist, you're gonna hurt your client's nails, because you will pull everything off, like even the extension, so just be careful and don't try to twist it, just try to nip them off carefully. So now it's time to remove the nail polish. Oh my god, remove the gel polish. And I am removing some of the bulk, because I find it easier just removing more of the extension, like more of the bulk, than filing afterwards, because now I can just apply the dual form and it will be perfect. If I wouldn't do that, I could just do a simple infill and then do some hand filing, but then her nails would keep on growing downward and not be straight and whatever, and I wouldn't be able to do a nail correction. And if I were to do it by hand, it would take me too much time, and using the dual forms is just perfect. And I'm sorry that I'm out of frame, but I will be back shortly. Yeah, here I am. But yeah, so doing it by hand will cost me a lot more time, so I am a bit of a fan right now with these dual forms. I've started using them on all of my clients. And you still need to know how to sculpt the nail and everything, and if one of the nails break, I will still do an extension with a nail form. I will do a first basic layer, and then I will go on top of it with the dual form. So you still need to know how to build a structurally good nail and everything, but I just like the consistency of dual forms, and I like that you can really correct the nail shape with minimal effort but with great outcome. So Yeah, and it's a little bit of getting used to, the right filing techniques because not every nail needs you don't need to remove the same amount of gel on every nail. It just depends on how they grow and what look you're trying to achieve. So yeah, still have to do a lot of thinking. So right now I'm removing the cuticle tissue, and one thing that's been bothering me a little bit lately is that I keep seeing and hearing people refer to the cuticle tissue as trichium. Um, but trichium is like a nail trauma. It's where your proximal nail fold just fuses to the nail bed and it will grow through the nail, and it's very painful. So here's a picture of neotrichium, and as you can see, it's trauma. And it's painful, and it's not the same as cuticle tissue. Because cuticle tissue is something you need, and your nail wants, and it lies on top of the nail. It doesn't grow through the nail, it's not painful, it's not nail trauma. So, yeah, there's a difference between trichium and cuticle tissue. And I find it very important using the correct terms for indicating parts of your body because, everybody in the medical world uses the same terms. And the difference between trichium and cuticle tissue is the same as referring to your pinky nail as your thumb and your thumb as your pinky nail. So, yeah, a big difference. And I just wanted to talk about that for a minute because it was bothering me just a little bit. But yeah, here you go. So I've already applied my rubber base clear. So now I'm applying the dual form and just putting it up on the nail and just gently pushing it near the cuticle area because I don't want the product to touch the cuticle and I don't want my dual form underneath the proximal nail fold. I just want it to stop a little bit before the proximal nail fold. That way I will have space to file so that I'm not gonna have any standing edges and whatever where your hair will get stuck or where you'll get lifting or anything. And that way when the nail grows out it will still look lovely. So shortening the nail a little bit. I'm doing that for all 10 of her nails. And once I'm done shaping the nails, I'm gonna go underneath and get rid of that bulk. And I've got a few clients who wear stilettos, and with those clients, I just completely remove the entire nail and start from scratch because working on top is a lot more work than just removing the nail and starting over. With these shorter nails, it's not that much work. It's easier. You can just apply it on top and just remove the excess underneath. But doing that with stiletto nails and everything, it's just too much product. Just it's too much, and you're not gonna get it nice and neat. So with those people, I just remove everything and just apply everything new. So yeah, so those are just some things that I've worked out for myself, how it works best for me, and everybody has their own way of working with dual forms. And as long as you're mindful of your client's skin, don't touch the skin with the product and everything. If it works for you, it's fine. If the outcome is great, it's fine. So now I'm just getting rid of that edge and just making it flush with the rest of the nail. With her thumb, I always have a little bit more work to do, but that's fine. I don't care. It's just a little bit. They're dual forms, but I'm still critical of my work. I still want it to look very nice. And even with dual forms, sometimes that means grabbing your hand file again. And you will see me throwing my buffer. Yeah, that's how it goes. Sometimes it's your day, sometimes it's not. But it was a pretty good day. I've had a really good day. Everything came out the way I wanted, so yeah. But sometimes I am throwing my files around. Sometimes this bigger hand file will just shoot out of my hand and yeah, straight through the salon. But yeah, that happens. That happens. As long as I don't hurt anybody, it's all good, right? So filing the lower arches, making sure they're coming straight out of the side walls, because these are coffin-shaped nails. Filing near the cuticle area again. Oh, and what I also discovered is that creating French inlay with dual forms, it's a no for me. No, I cannot get it to work. It's too much work. I don't like the forms. I don't like the shape of the nail beds that the dual forms have. No, it's not for me. I will just do that by hand. Um, yeah, that works a lot faster. So, yeah, that's another thing I've discovered. Well, at least for me. So right now I'm filing underneath, just getting rid of all that bulk. Well, it's not that much bulk, but I want it nice and thin. And her hyponychiums are really, really long, so I have to be really careful not to hurt her. Just carefully going around that, especially her index finger. Those are really, really long and very sensitive. So, yeah. And I've also used multiple shapes of dual forms, but I've come to the conclusion that the ones that I've used in this video are my go-to dual forms for longer nail shapes, and with the shorter nail shapes I will use the curved ones. They are excellent for shorter nails and they work for pretty much every shape. So yeah, I'm only using 2 dual forms for now, and I did order some stiletto ones and see how that works out for the few clients that I've got with stilettos. And once I've got that working, I think I'm gonna do a video with that. But first, let's see what's coming, and then doing a trial set and see how I like that. So that's done. Everything is nice and crisp. Now I can go in with this lovely yellow and create some Frenchies. And I'm going to use this yellow on all of her nails as a base. So she brought a picture, or she sent me a picture with the panda and the bamboo, and I really liked it. So I made a practice set first and see how it would work for me. Sometimes my clients will send me things. Sometimes it's just instantly like, oh, I know how to do that. Sometimes they send me pictures and I'm like, ooh, I'm getting inspired by this picture and I want to do a demo set. And sometimes it's just, well, let me just see if I can figure this out and see how it looks and see if my hand likes making this. Because, sometimes I can just not get things to work. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. Like last week, I had this client and she came in with a gorgeous set and it just would not work with the products I had. So maybe it was a little bit AI, maybe it was airbrush. I do not use a airbrush at all, and I'm not gonna. I just don't want to. Yeah, so things, I couldn't get it to work, and so we ended up flipping the entire nail set, but it came out lovely anyway. So that's why I do like to do some, yeah, just see how things work, if it's doable in salon. Sometimes things do work, but you really do not want to do that in a salon because it just takes too long. And I don't mind taking my time on clients, I really don't, but sometimes it's too much layers, too intricate, and all that stuff. So then I'll just pass and make something that's a little bit more doable. So now I'm gonna go in with this brown pigment, and I'm just dabbing it in the inhibition layer. Um, so it doesn't have to cure or anything. It's just dry pigment powder. I've done that on all of the nails just to create like a little bit more movement in the yellow color. Now I'm gonna go in and create the bamboo. So I've got this pat pad gel, and it's excellent for a one stroke. I like it better than my acrylic paints that I used to use. And they also give the same vibe and feeling as the acrylic paint. So, yeah, happy with that. So you only need a small amount because otherwise it's not going to cure because it's that pigmented. So I'm just carefully going over there, creating the, what's it called? Like the shoots? I don't know what's it called with the bamboo, you know. Um, yeah, so I'm just gonna do that on all of her nails. Then at least I've got the bamboo out of my way, and then I will just go from there because I do have a plan, but it's not always as planned as I think I do. Because working on a client's nail is still different than working on a nail tip. So, you know, I've got things planned, but then I will just go with the flow. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If I don't feel it, I don't feel it, and I do something else, you know. So, yeah, just going wherever I think I need to go. And I've been meaning to do more videos, but you know, it's just so busy right now. I've been really busy. We are building a roof on top of our garage, and we're doing that all by ourselves. So, me and my husband. And we're doing that on our free day, and that's only Sunday. The rest of the days I'm working. I've got my gym, of course. I've got the salon. I've got my kids. Yeah. So right now it's summer vacation here in Holland. So now I finally have time to do this video. So yeah, that's why it's taking a long time between videos for me to return, you know, but I still have my own life, and sometimes um, I'm just really happy to sit on my couch and doing nothing, just for an hour. But if I'm going to edit a video, then that hour on the couch will be editing the video. Sometimes I'm just done with everything, and I just want to stare at the TV screen and just think about nothing, basically. Now I'm going in with some white. It's a paint gel. And I've bought all these trays, I guess, and I've put all my paint gels inside. You know, the same thing where the peptide gels come in, and I should have done that years ago. Like, that is so handy to do. Like, no more jars that keep leaking and sweating out paint gel. I should have done that ages ago. So yeah, I've transferred them all to these trays, and I'm really happy about it. So I've added some shades, some darker greens along the bamboo, and some white on the other side. And right now I'm going in and creating these lovely tiny leaves. And just looking at it like this, I think it's really gorgeous. It really does not need a lot more, in my opinion. I think that already looks really good. Put some top coat over it and you're good to go, right? But no, this client always wants more. She's never satisfied with simple basic nails. She always wants extra, like the Labubus and all the other times you've seen her appear in my videos. I've got a lot of clients who have a lot of gorgeous and fun nails, but sometimes I always end up filming her and not the other clients. I don't know why that is. I really don't. Um, yeah, so maybe I should film some more other clients too. But yeah, that's something for another day. And I'm almost done with all those tiny, tiny leaves. And yeah, and still, this is my setup with my camera. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time doing anything different because, like I've said in a previous video, this is my daytime job. I do not have time to put up a full camera system and whatever, because after her I will have the next client, and it gets in my way, you know. The camera really gets in my way. So I've prepared this gel. It's a 3D, a thicker gel, and I've applied a little bit of white gel polish inside, so it gets a little bit more creamy, but still really 3D. And that's what I'm using for creating my little panda, my little panda bear. So I'm blobbing it on there, but being really careful not to mess it up because, you know, I really do want it to look like a little panda bear. Yeah, I know it really doesn't match the size of the bamboo. I know, but who cares? It's art, and it's lovely, and it's cute, and you know, it's fine. It doesn't have to match to the size of the panda bear. I like it this way. And so did my client. So then we're all good, right? But yeah, creating the pandas. Uh, um, I'm just doing the same stage of the panda on all of the nails before moving on to the black. I've created the black in the same way, the thicker 3D gel, added a little bit of black gel polish because I really do want it to cure. Um, because every time I'm doing the black or the white and I'm switching colors, I have to clean my brush, and I don't want to be cleaning my brush all the time because it gets on my nerves. so, so I'm just working in phases, and yeah, that works wonderfully. You just have to keep in mind on what you're doing on what nail. So now I'm creating its arm, holding the bamboo shoot like that, and then curing. Of course, I still have a little black, so I'm going to create its ears. So I'm just constantly looking at what can I do to keep using the same color, and then taking it off if I don't like it. No, just to keep it going, not constantly cleaning my brush and then coming in with the different colors. So yeah, those lovely, cute little ears. On to the next nail, doing the same thing, creating its ears. And I forgot to do the legs on this one, so when I was almost done, she was like, "Where are his legs?" Like, "Oh, you want legs? Well, then I'll give you legs." Or paws, like whatever. So now creating its midsection, just a little ring of white, and also creating its little tiny bum. And I know right now, looking at the video, it looks flat, but it's not. It's just a little bit 3D, not a lot, but it is. But you'll see that when I'm done. And here I'm going to create a little flower. Just a lovely, soft little flower. What kind of flower? I don't know. It's a lovely flower and it'll be pink. um, yeah. And I'm using the same gel for that. The 3D gel with a little bit of white gel polish. And not every nail is going to get a panda because I do want it to be lovely and nice, and I don't want overkill. And overkill is something that I'm really good at. Sometimes I just want too much, do too much. So through the years, I've learned to stop a little bit sooner. So I can carry that onto the back legs and getting it over the bamboo as if it's holding on to the bamboo. Trying to be careful not going over the white because I've already shaped the white into its bum, so don't want to mess that up. And I have to make this tiny little eyes and its nose and its mouth. And as you can see, it's really, really tiny, and it came out so cute, so cute. But she's a really good client. She can sit really still, so I'm happy with that. Some clients just don't know how to keep still, and then I'll tell them, well, it's either you sit still or I don't do the design. They always have to laugh and then sit really still. I also have one client that keeps falling asleep on my table. It's really funny. Every time I feel a jerk on her hand, I know that she's starting to fall asleep. And then I will look up and she's got her eyes closed and she's nodding away. Like, it's so funny. But it's also very nice to know that your client can get that relaxed in your chair, so at least I'm doing something right. Or I'm just really boring. That could be it too, but I don't think that's it. And almost done with all the little panda faces. So cute, so cute. I really, really love this nail set. And if I couldn't do it on her nails, I probably would have done it on my own nails. But now it's out of my system, so now I don't want to do it on my own nails. Get what I'm saying? Sometimes it just got something stuck inside my head and I really want to do it, and if I can't do it on a client, I'm gonna do it either on nail tips or on my own nails. But yeah, she beat me to it, so now she's getting the design. Adding the little shiny dots in the eyes. Such a delicate chore. Sometimes I have to redo it a couple of times because if you don't do it right, it will look cross-eyed, or it just won't look right. So that's what's happening here. I had one bigger and one smaller, and it's like, I don't know. Yeah. So doing it over again. See? Still not happy, but at least now I've got one eye the way I want it. Now I only have to do the other. And there you go. And this is the point that the panda bear still doesn't have his legs, as you can see. But in the end, it will. Going in with some pink on these lovely flowers. I think maybe they're a little bit like orchids or something. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just saying something. I really don't know what name goes with what flower. And this is just a fantasy flower, really, just getting some colors in, making it look pretty, some darker colors, some brighter colors, some yellow, some orange. Yeah, and then it will be just a pretty, pretty pink flower. And this was a very hot day. It was like 40 degrees Celsius. And sometimes I hear people that don't live in the Netherlands talking about, like, what are you whining about? It's always 40 in our country. And like, yeah, but 40 degrees in Holland is a lot different. It's really like, oh, I cannot even describe it. It feels like 50. It's yeah, it's a paralyzing heat once it hits 40 in Holland. You cannot compare it to, say, Spain or anything, or Turkey. It's like you just cannot compare it. It's very humid, very pressing, very, very hot. It gets into every cell of your body. It's impossible to sleep or move or yeah, so I was hot at that point. But the flower is looking prettier and prettier, getting some yellow in for some contrast in the center. And I know you're not able to see it from here, but later on with the picture. And once this is done, all it needs is some top coat and she's good to go. And then I'm gonna go in with my Top Gel No Cleanse. It's my absolute go-to top coat. Just go over it very thin because I want my little 3D panda to stay 3D and not get immersed in the top coat. So pretty, so cute, absolutely in love with this nail set. I don't think she's ever had a nail set this flat with flat drawings and no charms, but she absolutely loved it. So, and her next set will be dogs. She already let me know, but that's going to be 3D again, of course. Almost done. And here are her nails. Don't they look gorgeous? Oh, look at their little faces. So cute. So I really hope you've liked this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I wish you all a very good day and a lovely summer holiday. Bye.